that are sought to be addressed. One is the temperature goal. And the temperature goal reduction is within the framework of the NDCs, which is the Article 3 and 4 of the Paris Agreement. The second one has to do with resilience or adaptation, as we all talk about. So how do you enhance communities to be able to withstand the impacts of climate change? And that is the second objective of the Paris Agreement. The third one has to do with financing or resource mobilization to be able to address this. These issues are politically aligned because within the negotiation, there are two levels. So there are technical negotiations, and then there are also political decisions. Most of the time, you do the technical negotiations at the first week of the COPs that you're aware of. Most of these issues meet them. So the second week is dedicated for political decisions that is taken. And when this second week decisions are being made, they play into the geopolitics of the world. Last year was a very good example. The developing countries were asking for trillions of dollars within the context of quantifiable climate targets in terms of finance. The developed countries were saying that the economies of the developed countries or the donor community doesn't have the financial space or the fiscal space today to be able to, and they cited, or they keep on citing different, so the war between Russia and Ukraine and its implication on the global economy and other things that are going on around the world. So there's no way you can have climate discussions without this global geopolitics. Recently, there was a meeting, 2-week meeting, one for the UNFCCC, one for the Ethiopian government in Addis Ababa. And there was a declaration by African leaders, also within the context of geopolitics. So Ghana's commitment, even though it's Ghana's commitment, the achievement of our commitment depends on a number of global indicators, one of which is the global financial space. And so even if we are doing all the key technical work and the politics around this is not ripe or appropriate, we may not be able to achieve that. And so it's important to always understand the political climate within which the technical discussions must be situated. So they go hand in hand, and Ghana is not an exception in that direction. The second one has to do with which sections of the NDCs need reset. Dr. Bannerman said earlier on that his question was a very difficult. In fact, this is one of the difficult questions. In case of pointing to a particular section of the NDC that needs reset. Why am I saying this? Because what the ministry does is to coordinate targets or actions from energy, from transport, from water, from local governance, and so on and so forth. And each of these sectors have their own areas that they want to review. And so the review or the resetting in this case are context specific. What I would say that we shouldn't maybe lose sight of the fact that in terms of the overall target that we want to achieve, we have to be mindful of it as a country vis-a-vis our economic dimensions. The first NDCs, we were using a methodology that is looking at business as usual. So we played 4 key sectors, and then we asked these sectors to reduce emissions, bearing in mind that some of these sectors are the food baskets of the economy. Agriculture is a very example that I can cite. And so we learned lessons, and in the second NDC, we decided to do absolute targets. So we allow those sectors that can contribute most for emission reduction to do that, and those sectors that we think can support the food security interventions, we free them some kind of space in terms of emission reduction to be able to do that. I think we need to maintain that methodology and the NDC3 so that we don't press up some of the key sectors that will support our food security interventions. I think that's what I would say in that direction, yeah.
Thank you so much. So we take the last couple of questions and then we wrap up in the next 2 minutes.
Thank you. Okay. So thank you very much for that insightful session. My name is Ebenezer John Ahin, chapter leader for State of Youth Legon. So just for background purposes, I did my national service here recently, and during my session, sometimes I would ask the students about climate change and even SDGs, and to my utmost surprise, most of them wouldn't know. And so I did an indirect survey and discovered that 7 out of 10 fresh